And I'm David. And we're at the merge in Survivor David versus Goliath.
Oh my gosh, what an episode!
So much gameplay.
Seriously.
Early, like before the immunity challenges even happened.
This cast delivered.
Yeah, they did. So, and it was fascinating to see how many different conversations were happening between different groups. It wasn't just Goliath's reuniting and David's reuniting.
Right.
It was Alex talking to Christian. I mean, so many things were happening, right? But we did get a little bit of, like, there was the feast and everyone's just sort of happy to see the people that they know again.
Maybe drinking a little too much.
Yes.
Which always blows my mind. You haven't eaten in a while.
Yeah, right.
Why do you think you should like go start drinking?
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah, so the first one who sort of starts to get a little loose-lipped with all that alcohol is Carl.
Carl makes a point to let everyone know how he feels about Elizabeth.
Yeah, he's not a fan.
Not a fan of her, and he wouldn't mind if she were the one that everyone let go.
Yeah, right.
We see that Alec flipping on Natalia gets around.
Yes, people are talking about that, and I think Angelina's kind of like,
Right.
So Alec flipped on Natalia. Okay.
Yes. Dan is reunited with Kara. Quickly reveals that he has a second idol.
I could not. But why was I
That
surprised?
boy.
You know, like, of
That
course
boy.
he's going to tell her. He can't help it.
He's really thinking emotionally instead of strategically.
Yes.
But at least it's just her.
Yeah.
If it's just her, then okay.
Right. And we also see Nick tell Christian about Dan's first idol. So now Christian's in the loop on Dan's one idol. So we get to see, oh, it's the Mason to my Dixon, and they're reunited.
Mason Dixon seems to be back on board.
Yes.
What I really liked was this sort of strike force, is what Christian called it.
Yes.
Alec, Allison, and Mike kind of are open about, okay, but when we have to start taking out Goliath, we need a core group.
Right, we need some Davids to help us do that. So they get together with our favorites, Christian, Gabby, and Nick.
Great.
Yeah.
They're just naturally naming the people I want them to name.
Exactly. So those six sort of come together. You know, they obviously need to like keep this quiet, but they seem like it's legit. I think they all seem into this group.
And they were pretty open about, you know, we got to get rid of some Davids. It has to look like Goliath strong.
Yeah.
And then this core group is the one that will sort of rise to the top.
Yes.
Which is a scary situation for the three Davids involved.
Absolutely.
But you kind of also have to get it. You have to understand.
Take that risk, because, you know, at this point, it's 7-6, Goliaths are in power, so when someone from that side is reaching out to you, you need to be open to that.
Yeah. Overall, I really felt like Alec's shadiness is becoming more clear.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm kind of here for it.
Me too. He was like all about like, oh, I'm going to talk to some Davids.
Yeah.
Like, all bets are off at this point. We're at the merge. Like, let's play. He was like ready to go. And then also we see Elizabeth is starting to get a little uncomfortable with Dan and Kara because they're up all night talking.
She overhears them sort of like snuggly.
Right. And so she goes up to Alec because they had sort of orchestrated a flip earlier on Natalia. So she goes to Alec and she's like, you know, I just don't trust this Dan. I don't like it. He's a threat. And so then Alec turns around and tells Dan, and Dan freaks out. Of course, you would.
Again, Alec is shady.
Yeah, right.
Can't really trust what he's gonna do. So he tells Dan, Dan freaks out.
Yeah.
Of course, Dan, you have two idols literally in your pocket.
Right.
But
right.
No one wants to hear that their name is being tossed around.
Yep.
So all of that happened before the immunity challenge.
Yeah.
Like literally they heard merge, they were put on one beach and they were like, it's go time.
Yep. And they went. Yeah. Yes. So then we get to, I believe it's a new immunity challenge. I've never seen it on Survivor before. I thought it was cool.
It was a little weird and awkward, and it was not one that was gonna last forever because it was a bit tricky.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mike falls out almost immediately. I love that he had to keep saying, keep the momentum. He said that so many times, and I was like, it's because there's no clear, if you do this, you're out.
Unless you like drop the statue, that's a clear out. It was all about...
Because you could hit the side.
Yeah, find to hit it.
But like if you hit it and then it like couldn't get back through, then he was gonna be like, nope, you're out.
Right. So it comes down to Allison and Elizabeth.
Which at this point, you're like, oh my God, is Elizabeth gonna get this?
Yeah, because her name has been thrown out there by a lot of people going into this immunity challenge. And so I'm like, this could be great because it's gonna throw a wrench in the plan and that makes for a good episode, right?
Yes, right. That's not what happened.
No, Allison won. That was great. She had a cute moment where she was like, my family's gonna be so proud of me.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's just an exciting thing for any real Survivor fan on the show to win the individual immunity necklace.
Absolutely.
Like, that's awesome. So.
And it's interesting, we really honestly didn't see Allison for the first few episodes. We saw her in that very first one, and then she disappeared for a few episodes.
Right.
And then we just kind of saw her when she talked to Gabby, and you're like, oh yeah, Allison's in this game.
Yeah.
But then she wins this.
Yep.
So she's sort of cementing herself as a strong female in this game.
Absolutely.
Now we're back at camp.
Right. And so Elizabeth's name has already been talked about. So
everyone seems like on board for Elizabeth. An easy out.
Yeah.
Carl has done his job to explain that she's no bueno.
Exactly. And if the Goliaths hear, the Goliaths are in the majority, if they hear David's whispering about getting out a fellow David, that's such an easy first out.
Absolutely.
Let's take the uncomplicated way.
Yeah.
Let's not, says Angelina.
Well, as we know, Angelina has been here to play since day one.
Yeah.
She thinks of this as my tribe. She mentioned that.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, that's a dangerous way to look at things.
And she sort of is saying, Elizabeth is an easy out and we really need to go for a bigger threat. Let's get Christian. He's the heart and soul of the Davids. He could be any of us in the end of this game, which is true. But Dan has already heard his name.
Also, not 100% true. And I think it was Dan or was it John who was like, he's not going to win the next 7 immunities or whatever. And
absolutely.
There's rarely a puzzle individual immunity challenge.
Right.
If one comes up, I'm going to be suspicious that it's specifically for Christian.
Right.
Like, he's really not going to win. And, like, he could win the whole game, you're right.
Right.
But I do think you can get them out.
And that's what John or Dan or whoever said it, that was their point as well. Like, we're going to have other opportunities to get Christian out. But at this point, Dan is thinking, Elizabeth has been throwing my name out. I want to get her out.
Yes.
And also people are saying she came in second in this immunity challenge. She's a physical threat. Obviously. She proved that today.
They don't even know that she actually is a threat. Like, we know she got one of the first outs out.
Right. So Angelina's pitching this idea, and she just sort of has a way about her when she's talking to people that I just think is going to rub people. It's like Natalie Light, you know? Like, she's like, because no one is as bad as Natalie. But Angelina.
Or as great as Natalie.
Yeah, right, exactly. You know, I love her. So, but Angelina was saying, someone would interrupt her, let me finish.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't, you know.
And she sort of just negates anything you say. When you bring up this point or that point, she's like, no, you know, this, Christian this. No, Elizabeth that.
Yes.
It's because she has that feeling of my tribe, and she was able to flip already. Like, she already orchestrated some flips in a vote out. I want to say eviction, sorry, brother. Hello. She has done that, so she's kind of got that confidence and a little cockiness of like, I know how to run this.
Right.
And that's going to rub people the wrong way,
Absolutely.
like you mentioned.
So everyone, she's got such a strong stance in this conversation with the Goliaths that everyone kind of walks away and is like,
okay,
agreeing. Sure. But then the Goliaths break off into smaller groups.
Right.
And Dan and Allison and Alec and one other person are sort of thinking, wait, we don't actually want to get Christian out right now.
Right. Especially Dan.
Yeah.
Dan definitely wants Elizabeth out. She said his name. Alec doesn't want to follow Angelina.
No.
He wants to keep Christian. He just recently aligned with Christian.
Yeah.
But I also, during this moment, loved this moment with Gabby.
Yes.
Because, so, like we said, Goliaths are off on the beach making all these decisions, and the Davids are literally just sitting at camp watching the Goliaths
make decisions.
Go off and talk.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to just sit back and let this go. And Gabby, like, even though Gabby knows she's safe, she still was like, how on theme are we right now?
Right. And I'm sure to them it feels like, well, they're probably going to get one of us out this week, and then there's one less of us, and this is just going to be our lives until we're all gone.
We just have to sit here and take it.
Yeah.
I loved that moment because that really is authentic.
Yeah.
even when you know you're safe.
So then they're back together as a group, and someone is next to Angelina, and they sort of say, look, we decided to flip back to Elizabeth.
Yeah, John was the one that was like, I'll talk to Angelina. That's cool, that's cool.
Right.
So he talks to her, but now she feels like she's being told.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, honey, you
That's
just
what
told.
you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
But John and Allison are doing a good job of just sort of nodding along as Angelina complains about how she's now being told that they're going another way.
And she wasn't there for that decision when the decision was made. And it's like, well, they wouldn't have been able to make that decision if you were there.
Right.
So that's why they had to do that.
That's why that happened that way.
So she's upset, but she's saying, like, look, I'll go with the group, but I just want to voice my concerns about how this happened.
Clearly upset about this.
Yeah.
This really bothers her that it's not going her way.
Right.
And interestingly enough, her reaction is to go tell Elizabeth.
All of a sudden, she's got this conscience, and she just can't live with herself to blindside somebody like Elizabeth. She cares too much.
What's you cooking up here?
Yeah.
Lady, what's your motive?
Right. So she sneaks off with Elizabeth and is saying, you know, we got to make this quick. I shouldn't be talking to you, but I couldn't blindside you. I just wanted you to be prepared. They're going to vote you out. I just had to tell you. Elizabeth understandably gets upset. She's here to win. She loves this game.
Right. All of a sudden she's told she's the one.
And she's like, what?
And honestly, what good does it do to tell someone that, right? Besides what we'll get to later. But what is Elizabeth supposed to do, honestly?
Yeah, right.
How is Elizabeth supposed to handle this? Oh, now it's going to soften the blow or something?
Right.
No.
Now I just sulk into tribal and just watch everybody write my name down and go home?
No, of course not.
No.
So luckily, Elizabeth at least has a little bit of like strategy in her head.
Right.
And she's like, the only thing I can do is try to blow this up at tribal.
Right. I got to make the Goliaths see that there are fractures within their ranks.
Yeah.
And they're not Goliath strong like everybody says they are. So she has a quick conversation with Gabby, and they're kind of like, how can we make this work to your advantage? And Elizabeth's like, I just got to blow it up at tribal. It's going to be a crazy tribal. Let's do this.
Well, it was a crazy tribal. We get to tribal, and I'm like, wait, what's going to happen here?
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, are they really going to flip on Angelina? Like, this would be crazy.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth's like, hey, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Whispers, Dan over here, looking over
Alec
here.
looking around like,
Allison, real quick, is like, oh, someone's working their jury votes.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I was like, Allison.
Yes. Right. Calling it out. And Angelina doesn't really have anything to say to that, you know?
No. But of course, Angelina's great at this game, and she stays very calm, and she says, look, they are trying to put fractures in this group.
Right.
This is their last Hail Mary. Like, she's saying the right things. Guys, stay focused.
Right. This is what they want. They want us to become divided. So just stick with the plan, and we can, like, this is all going to work out well for us. But, like, don't fall into this trap.
Gabby's, like, crying.
Oh,
she's starting to tear up over, like,
flicking her tears so aggressively. I'm like, yes, drama, Gabby. I love it.
She's like, what would you expect us to do?
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, Gabby!
She's like, you just want us to be picked off one by one? I'm like, yeah. Go at her. And then Angelina starts to cry, and she's, you know, saying, like, I feel you, girl. Like, I've been in some difficult tribals.
Goliaths are whispering behind her. She does not know what's going to happen. And she's like, oh my God, my game.
Yes.
She's about to freak out. I think the problem here there's probably a few problems, is that, you know, like we mentioned, those two girls are showing emotion. Elizabeth, like, goes into her, like, defiant mode, which we saw with the whole bed situation. And she's like, I'm just saying.
Right. Goliaths need to know.
And there's not really anything, I don't know, inviting about that or comforting about that.
Right. It doesn't feel like she's going to work with the Goliaths.
Right. It doesn't
Angelina
feel like an energy that you're like, oh, I'm going to work with her. I'm going to partner with her. Your heart doesn't really go out to her in this moment. It makes you go, oh, she's playing the game.
Right.
Which is great, especially for us viewers, but not necessarily for someone in the game because they don't want you to work against them.
Right.
So ultimately, they go to vote.
Yeah.
And it's unanimously Elizabeth.
Yeah. And so that sort of made me think, like, something must have happened in this tribal that we didn't see. Because even like Gabby was going hard at Angelina with Elizabeth, but even she voted for Elizabeth. So something happened to signal to all of these Davids that, okay, we're still going for Elizabeth and we're not.
I felt like there were probably conversations back at camp before we even got to tribal that obviously were not shown to us. So that even though we saw Gabby sort of supporting Elizabeth, saying, yeah, blow it up at tribal, Gabby still knew she had to vote Elizabeth out, maybe for her strike force group or whatever.
And it's more of like maybe a longer term game that Gabby's playing at this point, just trying to put that little crack in the Goliaths. And, you know, it's not worth it to vote against the Goliaths at this time, but I'm putting in the work to, you know, paint Angelina as this untrustworthy member of the Goliath tribe.
I mean, that definitely happened.
People
were already sort of suspicious and wary of Angelina because she's playing so strong, but like, oh my God, she's in so much danger. Like, she is the biggest target. If they ever get to that point of caring about that, because they're going to try to knock off David's, I guess.
I know. And at this point, I think Angelina, in a weird way, might be kind of safe because she's sort of an island now, right? Like, the Goliaths don't have any reason to trust her because she's already trying to manage her jury votes behind their back. And the Davids don't need to trust her because what is she going to do for them? Like, you know, she just looks bad. So she may be able to kind of skate by because, you know, who's going to vote for her to win? But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, once again, we get clips for next week and it's like back at Christian. And that made me think, honestly, they're not going to be able to protect him forever. You know, it was one thing for these first initial conversations to be like, oh, we like the guy. And, you know, to be like, I know we all like him, but he's got to go. Like, how many weeks do you go, oh, I like the guy, let's keep him. If he really is this target for them, I don't know how long he's gonna last.
I know. But the only thing that's giving me a little bit of comfort is usually with those teasers, they never reveal who's going to go home. Like, you know, they want us to think Christian's the target, but like, I think he's gonna be safe next week at least.
And we heard a little soundbite from Mike that he's like, I don't think Gabby's into this alliance, which I was like, no, wait, I love this alliance. Don't ruin this alliance.
We need this to work, okay? It's all of our favorite people.
They never work. Jeez. So yeah, I think that this group is a great cast. They're gaming so hard. So I can only imagine how many targets are going to be tossed around next week and the, you know, weeks to come of like, but that person.
Yes. Who knows?
Yay!
And something, eventually, the Goliaths are going to crack. You know, it's
my gosh. I don't think, I mean, last week we were talking about how the Goliaths are going to go for the Goliaths. I mean, one tribal, they went for David's, and I think that might be it. They have, like, a safety majority now that they might feel comfortable being like, okay, now Goliaths.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get them.
Let's hope. That'll make for good TV.
Right? I'm super excited about this. One tribe. And how this is gonna go down.
It's gonna be great.
What did you guys think about this merge, this tribal, the new little alliances?
And how do you think Angelina needs to adjust her game moving forward? Because she's got some work to do.
Is she gonna last? What's going on?
Well, let us know what you guys think and we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.